Hello guys, and thanks for visiting the channel again. In this video I'm just going to talk about something that's recently been delivered, a nice sound card, and hopefully you will enjoy it. Thank you. Hello ladies and gentlemen. So my sound card's just arrived and I thought I'd show everyone what it looks like. Got some packaging material here, and we've got... What the hell is that? A bloody empty bottle? You've got to be kidding me! What the hell? Alright guys, that's the joke. Right, so we've got the sound card. Hope you enjoyed that little joke. A few people have been caught out on eBay, I know. So, what do we actually have here? Well, the seller sold an ASUS Xonar D2 7.1 channel audio sound card. He's listed it as new, so basically it didn't have the outer box, but I'm going to show you the ins and outs of it. So we've got the sound card here, which is the ASUS Xonar D2 7.1 channel audio sound card. He listed it as being brand new, but he didn't have an outer box for it. And what's special about this card is it's got shielding to protect it when it's inside the machine for any sort of static discharges, possible things that could bleed into the actual card and create a bit of sound or distortion or some sort of interference. That's why I wanted something like this. It retails online for about £100, and I bought this for £47, so I got a good deal, and I thought I'd show you guys. Obviously what I needed to do was basically get a card that was PCI, because a lot of the new cards are PCIe at the moment, and unfortunately if you haven't got a lot of slots in your machine, and say some of the slots are PCI, you may struggle to figure out a place to put it. So obviously if you've got an older motherboard, you'd be wanting to look for PCI. If you've got a newer one, it would be PCIe. So without further ado, let's show you the card. Okay, that's the ASUS card there. As you can see, it's got quite a bit of shielding all the way around it, and obviously you've got inputs there for your Midi, because obviously this card can connect to another Midi card that you get with it that allows you to obviously connect various devices such as keyboards, so it would be a good recording sound card. So what else do we get in the box apart from the card itself? Incidentally, I'd like to say it's quite light, a lot lighter than I expected. It's also almost unreal. Obviously those are the various options that you've got on there for connecting it up. You've got mic in, line in, front speaker, side speaker, center speaker, rear speaker. The center speaker could also be the subwoofer. You've got the speed diff in and speed diff out as well ports. This has basically got virtually all the ports you could ever want on it to do any sort of sound, or connect it to subwoofers, stereo systems, whatever you wanted to do with it. So what else do we get in the box? We get Power DVD. It's always good to get that because I've always liked that software for playing DVDs. It's basically brilliant, and it's fantastic for watching DVDs. The layout is just fantastic. One of the best DVD players I've seen. Obviously you get an ASUS Appleton Live Light 7 Xonar Edition software there. You get something called ASUS Cakewalk Production Plus Pack. So obviously that'll do various things. It could be drivers or softwares to set up the card. And what do we have here? Another CD, headphone, Dolby virtual speaker. Let's talk about the sound card in more detail in a moment, but I want to go through the various connections you've got. Obviously you've got your standard phono connections. You've got something to extend the Midi, so you can obviously connect it to larger Midi connections. I suppose if you're a music producer, into music, making music, this card would be brilliant for you. Obviously got USB connections, some sort of adapter there. I suspect it's like a digital adapter. And then obviously extra cables. I was told this particular cable here, obviously you guys will recognise what it is. I'm not that up with all the ins and outs of a card like this, but apparently this is quite pricey to buy on its own, so good thing that's included in the package. Again, more these cables. You know, always handy to have lots of these cables, but if you're like me, you already have a ton of these cables anyway, so that's not a big issue. And another adapter there, and that's it really. So obviously the seller listed this as a channel audio sound card, new P1 MIDI board, this leads etc. And it didn't really say much about the actual card itself. However, if we go on to a retailer's website, the card is described as Ultra Fidelity 7.1 PCI sound card with complete Dolby DTS sound technologies. Basically what the card is discussing, obviously you can read that at your leisure, but this particular card includes a decoder for decoding Dolby sound and DTS. What that means is, in here you've got a Dolby decoder, so this sound card natively has the ability to decode Dolby sound and transfer that to any speaker system you have, which is very rare in sound cards these days. Normally they do some sort of emulation of Dolby sound, or in terms of creating a surround sound. And because the connections are gold plated, you're going to get an extremely good contact. Just make sure any cables you do use are gold plated, because gold plated connections are the best way of transferring sound. I just wanted to quickly go through on the computer and talk about my journey in terms of obtaining this card. Basically, as you can see on there, you can spend a lot more on cards, but you've got to make sure you've got the right connection. PCI or PCIe. Now if you don't know the difference, basically PCIe is a very small connection like so, and PCI is basically a large connection on your motherboard like so. A lot of people call it legacy connection. Basically it's just an old form of connecting your graphic card to your motherboard. I originally started looking at sound cards that were PCI because I had limited space, and I was looking at the Xonar D2 PCI 5.1. As you can see there, it's relatively cheap at $21.99. Reviews of that particular card suggested it was a good card, but it was still on the cheap side and it wasn't great quality. So then I looked for another card that was maybe a bit more expensive, such as the ASUS Xonar D2 PCI low profile sound card. around £50 here. Obviously it's slightly better, but not quite as good as this one, which obviously is the DG2. Obviously you can see the card here, and obviously it's going for £95. Obviously this is the advantage of getting something second-hand online on eBay, because you can save yourself a small fortune. So going back to what I was saying before, don't be afraid to look online and check out eBay. You can get yourself some good bargains. This outstanding sound card I purchased for £47. It is a fantastic budget sound card. Clearly you can spend a lot more. If you wanted to spend £200 on top of the range ASUS or Creative sound card, you can do so. Unfortunately, you've got to keep in mind is the newer sound cards are going to be PCI connection. So if you presently only have one PCI connection and you use that for, say, USB 3, or you use it for your sound card, you have to keep in mind, if you want to add extra devices, make sure you've got the correct slot available to basically use it. So this is the ASUS D2 PCI high-end 7.1 sound card. It's a fantastic card. It's gold plated, and it obviously can decode Dolby digital signals. So I hope this little unboxing and advice regarding looking for second-hand products. Check out my graphic card video on the GeForce GTX 460, where I discuss obviously obtaining that quite cheaply. So don't be afraid of looking online for deals. Reconditioned products, as well as reconditioned by the manufacturer, certainly recommended. But if you can obtain something new, obviously it's always a good thing to get. But this is a little unboxing and show and tell of this particular sound card. I will give you a review at some point when I've had a bit of time to install it. Keep an eye out for my new installation video on the upgrade that's coming. Keep an eye out for my upgrade video on my existing PC, where I'm doing basically a complete remodification of the existing system, but basically I'm updating the machine. So keep an eye out for that video, and thank you for watching.